Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name is Andy,
And my name is Becky.
and I have no idea how long we've been trying to wrestle with this setup this morning, trying to restart laptops, and we're also trying to wrestle against our own energy levels.
We're trying to get the energy up. We're quite tired. It is Friday.
And it's the start of term as well.
Yeah.
So perfect time to be tired because everyone else is feeling tired.
Yeah.
What have we got coming up?
So we're going to be talking about Minecraft and educational games.
Well, it is the start of term. It's time for it.
Time to get some education going.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that in the middle section. We're also going to be talking about the classic game in Andy's Game of the Week.
We've not quite decided which game yet.
We know.
There's two options.
There's two options.
We'll work out who.
We'll work out before we get there.
That's it.
But now it's
time for gaming news. Gaming news.
Gaming news. Our first piece of gaming news this week is Roblox. The massively popular children's game Roblox has announced plans to launch on the Sony PlayStation consoles. Roblox has 60 million players a day, according to the firm, but it has come under criticism over concerns it poorly moderates its content. Other announcements include new ways to make characters, a communication tool called Roblox Connect, and a full release on Meta's VR platform Quest.
Okay.
It will be available on PlayStation 4 and 5 in October 2023, with the game only previously being available on PC, mobile devices, and Xbox One consoles. All
right, so 2 points here.
Mm-hmm.
Point number one is that the whole Roblox content moderation thing has been I'm trying not to say a thing. It's been a thing for a while. There is lots of stuff online about kind of giving advice on how to manage it.
Yeah.
Quite nicely. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that people should Google Southwest Grid for Learning and look at their social media feeds.
Okay.
I know they share, I've seen that they share kind of guidelines and stuff around keeping safe on Roblox on a fairly regular-ish basis.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is quite a big deal for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because families have been known to get an Xbox because of Roblox.
Interesting.
So it would be interesting to see if it opens up kind of the family gaming sphere a little bit.
We've always played family games on PlayStation. Never had a problem with that. But I guess it will open up a new sphere. It's interesting because they say we don't compete
but you get families buying an Xbox just for Roblox.
Yeah, so it's interesting because it's obviously like PlayStation aren't necessarily known as a family-friendly console. And so this is like, we know how we talked about last week about how Nintendo were trying to compete with PlayStation. Do you feel like maybe it's starting to be a bit of the other way around as well?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, everyone wants. I mean, it's all about money at the end of the day, and that is about appealing to as wide a market as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And so why not?
Yeah, interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they go.
It's all about money at the end of the day.
That was very cynical of you. It'll be interesting to see whether they get more into the family gaming side of the market.
One day I was positive. I'm sure I was more optimistic than that last time.
You're just gonna play around and around your head.
I feel we should move on before it turns into some sort of self-reflection podcast.
Okay. Our second piece of gaming news is Unity. Unity, the company behind the Unity video game engineering platform, popular with indie gaming developers, announced that it was changing its pricing models this week. It's been quite dramatic. The changes included a pricing scheme that sought to charge developers on a per install basis for games that met specific downloads and revenue thresholds. The gaming community did not respond well to this news, saying that the Unity is trying to squeeze money out of small developers. The new Unity model could theoretically result in situations where developers would be on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars in fees without the revenue to pay for it. Many games developers are saying that they will now be switching platforms for development of their games.
So,
yeah,
basically, you've got a load of game developers finding out that they're basically going to be charged for having their games installed on people's gaming machines.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
So game developers are going, this doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I saw one take on it, which is basically everyone who speaks to Unity about this is finding out that actually it is worse than they think it is.
Okay.
There is, or the thing that they thought wasn't as bad is worse.
Okay.
There is a worse thing.
Yeah.
And no, there is no good thing.
Okay.
There is concerns about how you might have some people just trying to replicate the install.
Yeah.
And so therefore charging the developer more.
Yeah, with more. So I see.
There's questions about how this will be policed. There's questions about exactly how are Unity gonna know that their game engine has been installed on my PC, for example. Yeah. You know, I kind of not sure if I want that to happen.
Yeah, and there were some comments about the fact that sometimes developers will download the apps to try and make sure they work, and actually sometimes that will go back into redevelopment, and then they'll have to download it again. And is there going to be a cost for every time they download it onto their phones to try and make sure it works? Unity have not had a good time with it this week. They've had to close a couple of their offices because of this, because they were getting threats.
Yes.
And so, I mean, we don't, but like, it's been very dramatic. Good. It's not been good.
But, I mean, a lot of decisions like this come from management.
Yeah.
And come from the people who make the decisions on how a company should progress going forwards.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain I read something about how the current chief exec has made some comments previously about how game developers should just find ways to get more money out of gamers.
Yeah.
But a lot less polite and a lot more blunt than that as well.
It's not.
And it sounds like he's taken that ethos and applied it to Unity. And game developers are turning around and saying, no, we're going to go and do something else. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I think it's understandable, isn't it? If you're a small developer, you can't afford to have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fees before you have income.
Oh yeah, it is hitting the smaller indie devs terribly. So
it will also result in less like indie games on the market, less of these like smaller games that are actually, some of them are like really good games that you play a lot, like we play a lot. And actually, like, the games that are probably some of the best developed games because the smaller industries are actually where these really good games are coming from.
Yeah, and it's just small indie devs who do a lot of game making for the love of it and for the love of community around it. And
they also change the way games are made. Like in these small indie developers are the ones that will take more risks, whereas big companies are less inclined to take risks. Indie developers are more inclined to take more risks because it could be more profits for them. And actually that's how gaming moves on, that's how gaming moves forward. And actually if you stop that, then that's gonna ruin the industry as a whole.
I feel we could rant all day on this. And we probably shouldn't.
No, we should move on. Our final piece of gaming news is that new funding has become available from the government.
Okay.
Creative developers and studios can now bid for new cash from a multi-million-pound government-funded scheme to turn their new video games into market leaders. As part of the government's plan to maximise the potential of the creative industries, the UK government fund has been boosted by an extra £5 million of government funding to support domestic studios to scale up grants. Alongside new content, the UKFG, the UK Games Fund, a fun game, will continue to award grants of up to £30,000 to young video game developers and early stage studios to turn their drawing board ideas into working prototype games and showcase them to investors. The new fund will provide the UK studios with £50,000 to £150,000 grants to support development of intellectual property, allowing companies to attract investment and reach new stages of growth.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to say a few things, but before I say that, I'm going to say I would like to know more detail.
Okay.
Before I'm too... In case I come across too optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because the word that comes to mind here is opportunity.
Yeah.
And if you have people in your life, or if you are someone who is keen on developing game development skills, then know there is more money in that marketplace to kind of assist you with that. And hopefully that money finds its way to people who could do with it to help develop those skills. Yeah,
it's interesting. So this has come from a government website.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't a new fund.
Okay.
It's a fund that has been added to. So this isn't.
Right.
So this is a fund that has been added to specifically to encourage people to develop games that are in development into actual games, basically.
Okay.
So it's just been.
So if you're someone who is developing a game, but you're struggling to kind of make that
game
next step.
Yeah. Into sort of the marketplace, basically. Okay. It's that sort of funding. It does sound good, but like we've talked a lot about how the UK games market has been affected by more sort of things recently in terms of Activision Blizzard and that kind of thing, and actually the money that they're losing might not make up for the money that they're gaining. So, but I guess we'll see.
Right, it's September.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And we all know what September means, right?
Back to school.
Back to school.
They went back to school last week.
Yes. But last week Starfield was also released.
Okay, and you needed to talk about Starfield.
Well, I felt like, Starfield, school.
Yeah, okay. So what are we talking about this week then? Not talking about Starfield.
We're talking about lessons.
Lessons? Okay.
We're talking about education.
Right.
And we're talking about how video games can be part of that. Educational video games.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
And we're going to look at 3, 4. I've not looked at my notes anywhere near enough over the last 5 minutes. We're looking at 3, 4 games that have some sort of educational elements in without being,
too over
an educational game. First things first, and it has to be the game that we were talking about just now.
Okay.
Minecraft.
Oh gosh.
Minecraft. Okay, so Minecraft, right, is more than just digging and getting lost and appearing in the sky for no reason, or lassoing pigs and taking them flying. No pigs were harmed in the making of this podcast. Or anything like that. There's also a programming element that can be included, so you can like make switches and things like that.
Okay.
You've got and if you are wondering how the whole switch element works as education, it's very kind of basic logic. If this happens, then that happens.
Yep.
It's the start of programming lessons for kids, basically. Which is great. There's a blast of creativity in there. You've got problem solving thrown in. And I mean, some people also reckon it helps to build empathy.
Okay.
And digital citizenship as well. But that is probably if you're going to go down the kind of multiplayer online kind of stuff. You can create your own kind of Minecraft world, which kind of invite people to.
Yep.
And that could be where the whole digital citizenship comes into play.
My experience with Minecraft is not great.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we both kind of go, we should really get into. And then neither of us do it because it's so complicated. I don't really understand what's happening when I try and play it.
My daughter normally plays it on the tablet when we're travelling.
Yeah.
And I think she's kind of got to the point that that's where she plays it.
Yeah.
So the other day when I thought, I kind of want to spend like a Saturday, actually, because there is quite a few bits involved with Minecraft.
Yeah.
You know, you could go into like the sandbox world and just create and things like that. I say just create. It's great. But there's also other options about how to kind of invite friends and build your own world and share your world and things like that. And I'm like, I kind of want to know how to do that. When I suggest doing that to my daughter, she's like, no, I want to do this. Like, all right,
you could help
me. Fine. Okay. Second one.
Yep.
Lego Worlds.
Okay.
Now you may see this in like supermarkets, video game shelves. It's one of the big Lego games for the Switch. Basically, imagine Minecraft.
I'm imagining
Imagine how Minecraft has been described as Lego for computer games.
Yeah.
Imagine Minecraft, but Legoized.
Yeah.
So kind of the Lego game charm.
Okay.
And I think he kind of talks you through it a bit nicer as well.
Okay. Yeah, that was my one thing with Minecraft was there were no instructions on how to use it. They just sort of throw you in and assume that you know what you're doing. And I don't know what I'm doing with Minecraft, and I just dig holes. That's what happens. I dig holes, and I don't know why I'm digging holes.
Did you ever like dig so far you went into the lava?
No, well, maybe. I don't know. But I got bored because I was like, I don't know why I'm digging holes and I can't work out what I'm supposed to be doing to stop myself from digging holes. So I just get to the point where I'm like, well...
Stop digging holes. Start making things.
Okay. It's just... it's so complicated.
Deep.
But yeah, so Lego, I imagine is probably like having the sort of tutorial bit of it. It's quite useful. Yeah,
it's kind of weird voiceover man type. Yeah. Narrator voice that kind of talks you through it, and it helped me out.
Yeah. Okay.
Next thing.
Yeah.
Not really a game, but any game that kids are kind of attracted to that require reading to get through.
We've talked about this before.
Talked about Animal Crossing before. Yeah. Talked about how actually Daddy was getting a little bit frustrated and having to come in every time to read something.
Yes.
Perfect opportunity for kids to actually get that confidence to read what's on the screen for themselves.
And if you want information on that, the Literacy Trust did a review of young people's reading skills over COVID and found that young people that were playing video games that required subtitles learned to read quicker than young people that didn't, for example. And that's all on the Literacy Trust website. You can find that. And actually, it's really interesting information about if you're a parent and you're thinking, they might be playing too many computer games, you can understand that they are learning stuff from that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn between which way to go next, so I'm going to go with task-orientated games.
Okay.
I don't know about you. Sometimes it feels a bit of I kind of want that thing done, right? Yep. I just want to do that thing.
Yeah.
But I know that in order for that thing to happen, I need to do this thing and this thing and this thing. And I would argue that that's a bit of a life skill to at least appreciate and to learn. And, task-orientated games are great at kind of building up that understanding. So games like Stardew Valley. Yeah. In that, and it can be very simple. Like, in order to unlock this thing, I need to find this fish, this fish, this fish, and this fish. Yeah. And potentially get the money together for this fishing rod and so on and so forth. And just building up that kind of logical kind of building blocks that can help to guide through life. Last one. Bit of a curveball. Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed,
Maybe not for the very young children.
Well.
Okay.
Bear with me here.
Okay.
Because Assassin's Creed generally is one of those games where you just go around and be an assassin, right?
Yep, because it's called Assassin's Creed.
And occasionally having full-out fights. And maybe that one isn't for really young children.
Yeah.
But you've got the discovery mode which can come separately.
Yeah.
So you can download Assassin's Creed Valhalla Discovery and Origins Discovery. And what these are is that they are very historic kind of walkthroughs of that era. So it's a way to walk around historic Egypt, walk around a Viking village, and get a taste for life and what activities people might be up to and all that sort of stuff, and have some sort of interactive history lesson whilst actually playing a computer game as well.
Nice.
Which is somewhat more engaging, can be somewhat more engaging than a school lesson. But on that note, so I've been going through this book from a author called Dr. Naomi Fisher called Changing Our Minds, How Children Can Take Control of Their Own Learning.
Yeah.
And a quote that just leapt out at me was so she's referring to another author who did a study looking at why gaming seems to be engaging, but schools not so much.
Yeah.
So for Curry Knight, the author, it boiled down to three things. Video games combined learning, practice, and evaluation in quick succession, while school separates these things.
Yeah.
So a video game, you learn how to do a task, you practice it, you evaluate how good you are at it by if you move on to the next level, fight the boss, or find or complete the task or quest or whatever it is you're doing.
It's interesting. I was chatting to my cousin, who's a teacher, about this, about video games, using video games in schools, and I like a lot of the arguments they don't have resources for that kind of thing, and that's fine. I completely understand schools.
Oh yeah, but totally schools.
Yeah,
totally support schools.
What the conversation was actually most teachers will accept that gaming could be a really educational tool if they could have the resources to be able to use it in school. And so actually, maybe we need to be encouraging people to look into gaming in schools and see how it fits into educational practices and educational curriculums in schools to try and incorporate it into more young people's lives. Because it can teach young people good things. So, I think it's all really interesting.
If a schools minister happens to be seeing this, would
or
love.
If you are a school,
it just needs to be a Zoom.
If you are a school and you would like some help with gaming stuff, the YMCA. Well, if you're in Exeter and you're a school, maybe not quite so far away, but the YMCA, we've got gaming equipment we could lend to schools and stuff. So if you are a school watching this, or an education somebody that works in a school watching this, let us know, and maybe we could come and help you with some gaming stuff.
And there you have it, people. We might have had an unofficial announcement just then.
Yeah.
So now it's time for Becky's Game of the Week.
It's outrageous. We've turned it all around.
I am proud of you.
Yeah, I'm proud of me too.
Excellent.
So I have been playing Child of Light.
Which is an awesome game.
We have talked about previously on previous podcasts. I've been playing it. I bought it ages ago and then just haven't had an opportunity to play it.
So what's Child of Light about?
So it's about a little girl.
Okay.
Who she dies in the beginning of the game. Theoretically. Yeah. She gets sick in the game and then potentially just falls unconscious.
She might do.
Yeah. I haven't got to the end of the game yet, so Andy's trying to give me no spoilers and stuff. But so she falls unconscious, she gets sick in the beginning of the game. She does get sick in the beginning of the game, I know that. It's all in the narrative. And so then she falls into this realm of monsters and into this sort of shadow world. And it's all about her trying to get back to her dad, who is in the real world. And so the whole journey is her trying to get back to her father, basically. And it sort of takes place, I guess I think I'm calling it the underworld, but it was it's a bit in a weird sort of
It's some sort of fairy tale version of Eastern Europe.
She flies in the bit of a little, like she gets wings and starts flying around, and there's lots of monsters to fight. It's a really fun. It's a bit like noir. Is that the right word? It's very like the graphics on it are very sort of they're quite 2D, but it's really beautiful. Like the game itself is really beautiful. You're going to put the video up and you haven't.
No.
But it's very beautiful. It's very like it's very clear, the graphics, but I really enjoyed it. So I had some time off over the summer, and in the summer I haven't finished it yet, but I played a big chunk of it. You can see it now. It's just come up behind us on YouTube.
There we go.
So I think it's really pretty, but you do spend quite a lot of time fighting monsters.
Yeah, and it's kind of turn-based combat, isn't it? In that.
Yeah.
It's almost British in its approach, in that you take one turn to fight the monsters, and then the monsters fight you. Yeah. And you've got to decide what kind of thing you're going to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I haven't got to the end of it yet because I've only had a limited amount of holiday. I am going on holiday in a couple of weeks, and I am assuming that during those couple of weeks I will finish this game. Because I've got time off. Yeah, well, I can't
believe you had time off.
Well, I had the same amount of time off as you in the summer, but I haven't. I'm going off for 2 weeks, so excited. But I'm off for 2 weeks of work, but I'm off for 3 Fridays,
and that is the time that matters.
So you can get this game on most platforms, I presume. I'm like not the expert in this.
I am going to say most platforms as well. I'm going to say Switch. I'm going to say definitely PC. I'm going to hazard a guess and say PS4 and possibly Xbox One.
Yeah, I got it on the sale as well, so it was relatively cheap. It's one of those games that's quite old, so actually you can get it relatively cheaply.
Yeah, don't buy this game full price. Look out for it on sale, because it could be just a couple of quid.
Yeah. But it's a really good game, and I really enjoyed it. So there you go. That's my game of the week.
And that's all the time we have for today. He says, we've not quite hit half an hour yet. It's fantastic. So that is probably time for us to finish off.
Yep.
Please find us on all social media platforms, either at YMCA Exeter Games or at YMCA Exeter. Please don't forget to subscribe, click like and subscribe on YouTube as well, and thank you for watching.